Welcome back to another episode of Aunt and Andrew, where family's everything.
Until it's not. Oh, another week of Shannon and Tamra. And Tamra, oh, she's getting herself, and the funny part is I follow her on social media and she's really not backing down from playing the villain.
Because everything she's saying about Ryan Boyajian or whatever is true.
I know, but she's not even backing down about a lot of the Alexis Bellino stuff and all of that. I still don't understand how anyone at all. Well, we're going to get into Alexis.
I have a different take on Alexis after this week. I believe that Alexis is being absolutely manipulated by the network,
Johnny J.
and Johnny J, both. And I think that the network and Johnny J are not in communication, but the network knows enough about who Johnny J is to know what's happening behind the scenes with Alexis. And Johnny J knows enough about how the network operates that he knows what's going on behind the scenes when it comes to the show. And I give them both a lot of, I consider Alexis a delusional, dumb victim.
I don't know. You know what? I see her as a willing participant.
But because of, I genuinely feel that there's I think that her tears around London were real.
Yeah, because she was excluded and she wasn't going to get any airtime and she might not get an orange and she didn't.
And I just believe that she was promised more than what she's getting.
Pure narcissism.
I think she was promised by the network more friendship, companionship, camaraderie, more of an orange. Johnny J.
Because remember, she had an orange and she came back as nothing but
And Johnny J knows that the network's using her as a pawn.
But he kind of likes it because I tell you, I've told you all along, we're going to go back to it with people. He manipulated Shannon. Yes. He goes through all of the covert narcissism things, love bombs, and then you start getting gaslit and you start getting triangulation where there's always somebody else involved in the relationship. It could be the girl who you bought your coffee, the barista at Starbucks. And a covert narcissist will find a way to bring that barista into a relationship. The guy will, like Johnny J, he could say, "Oh, Shannon, you should have seen the hottie. Ooh, she asked me if I wanted extra sugar with my coffee today." And that's just a way to cast doubt on that other woman about. So he brings the triangulation in, the gaslighting, the love bombing, then they start to diminish you and they start to put
Johnny
you down.
J, if you didn't want anyone to talk about you, you shouldn't have let Alexis go on the show and you should have walked away and had your nice little life.
Right. But see, everything he did to Shannon and then he made her crazy at the end. I can see, I said it before, that Alexis is thinking, well, I'll do it more than Shan did. I'll do this better. He won't do this to me. And he's still doing it to you,
It's who
Shannon.
he is.
It's how he works. That's how he works. Now, I want to get on to, okay, we got two, we know all about Alexis.
But let's start from the top. Eddie knows what's up.
Eddie knows what up, but he still is embarrassed by his wife.
I don't know if it's embarrassed. He's playing damage control at the end of that scene. He can't be mean to Ryan because he knows even in that moment, which Ryan didn't sue Tamra in that moment. Ryan sued Tamra after Watch What Happens Live.
Correct.
But in that moment, I'm sure Eddie's mind is like, yeah, the FBI did raid his house, but also that's not public yet. And he could turn around and do something to Tamra. So when we're leaving, I'm going to say, I'm sorry. I'm going to give him a hug. You didn't give him a hug when he walked in, but he gave him a hug when he was leaving.
Gave him a hug. Well, not only that, but if you're talking about bookies and big money and the FBI, you really shouldn't be flippant with your words.
Yeah,
I will say that's where Tamra might have said everything she said was correct. But when you know you're dealing with bookies and big money and betting and the seediness of that, now you could find your tires slashed.
The only thing I'll say is that this is on full display now for the world. So the only good thing about that is that stuff for sure happens behind the scenes when it's not in the spotlight of the world.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But I think at that moment, Eddie might have been thinking to himself, "Ooh, I better make nice with this guy because he knows." He knows these characters, and I don't want to get on that.
But let's make something clear. Tammy Sue's behavior to the side, Eddie's reaction to the behavior to the side, Ryan is guilty as all hell. Like
yeah,
when
that's
it comes
fine.
to, he didn't steal. We've made this clear.
Right.
I believe
It's
that
just the
Ryan and his
facilitator.
associate did not know that the person placing the bet was using his client's money, the person he was interpreting for, the baseball player.
Right. Yeah.
They just thought it was some guy making a big bet.
So
they didn't know that it was stolen money being used.
And
they don't really care.
and there is a large Asian population in California, and they have a lot of money.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, you know, you would.
But also, it's not like Shohei Ohtani's name was being used. It was someone else. They don't know who his interpreter is. Baseball players aren't walking around being like you don't know who someone's interpreter is by name. It's not like it's their agent.
Yeah,
like
but what
Scott
I'm saying,
Boras.
I mean, how much is his contract, Ohtani's?
$750 million.
Okay, all right.
The biggest
So
in
this
baseball
is
history.
so if you're in the middle of East Oshkosh, okay,
yep,
and an Asian guy is placing millions of dollars of bets, all right, or hundreds of thousands of dollars of bets, and there's only one Asian guy in town, you might say it's Ohtani. But when you're in California and there's a large Asian population and there's a lot of money, you're not going to think it's him.
Also, let's call it what it is. There's a chance, even if they knew, like, this guy was so free with the guy's money because it wasn't his money, the interpreter, right? It was baseball players. But at the same time, like, it's also believable. Like, let's think about it. Like LeBron James, for example, his agent or whatever, or his assistant was a friend from high school. So like, this also could be someone that he knew, right? Where maybe he paid him really well, or maybe he helped him get more clients.
He's a foreigner.
But my thing is that like, there's people out there that spend like all their money on gambling. So it's also something where like Ryan and his associate might have just thought, oh, this guy likes to spend all of his money on gambling. They didn't know, like, of course he's spending all this money because it's not his. So it's like, that's where Tammy Sue got it wrong, was that she said that Ryan stole the money from the baseball player.
Right.
And that's where I have to sit back and say, no, he didn't.
But has Ryan been implicated as doing anything illegal?
Well, just the
or
fact
is he
that he's
just part of the story?
Bookies are illegal in California.
Like, well, they made it out like they were legal the other day. I don't know California law.
No, but online gambling, like there's certain gambling systems, but like taking whales from Southern California's money and bringing it to Vegas to put bets down is not legal.
Okay. All right. So, but has he been indicted of anything?
No, because I think he's cooperating. But my point is that he might be cooperating by sharing the information he knows about this client, the interpreter. But again, don't think that he's saying, oh yeah, I knew it was Shohei Ohtani's money. Like, even if they did know, which I don't think they did, because as I said to you offline, if you're using someone's millions of dollars without them knowing, I don't even think you're telling your significant other what you're.
Oh, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't tell anyone.
You're one person operation.
Right there. Yeah, totally. And we know that Ryan has 1 million occupations.
He still doesn't know what he does, though.
He doesn't. I do want to say one thing about Tammy Sue. No matter when it is in her whole life of being a housewife, and when she gets into hot water, she runs. And all I can think of is that time about 5 or 6 years ago, she was in the bushes at the end of the season, literally hid in the bushes. So she can, when things turn on her, she goes really, really quick. And I don't blame her to a degree. I will say that. I loved Shannon. First of all, I want to talk about Emily.
Okay.
Emily, in my opinion, is the most beautiful woman on that show.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. And she was on Watch What Happens Live with Michael Rappaport, and Andy was talking about her body image. And Rappaport said, I don't care what size you are, size 6, to me, you're size sexy. And he said that to her. He called her size sexy, not size 6. It doesn't matter what size you are. He said, you're size sexy. And Emily, you are the best looking woman in that town, in that franchise. And you're the hottest too. So stop being focused on your weight, because you got curves for here till tomorrow.
Emily, if you want to have something in a few years when this show's done, because we all know that it does end,
Yeah, it
You
does.
should start being someone that's out there talking about embracing your
Yeah.
body and body image, because you could help a lot of people, but also it
Yes, you
might be
could.
your like second act after Housewives. Write a book about it. Like, and again, she's probably thought about all these things. But I do also have to say, Emily, I give you a lot of credit for the work you do with people that are wrongfully incarcerated. I just have to
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah. She's like a little Kim Kardashian
Yeah, well,
of
Kimmy K is trying to
OC.
get those Menendez brothers out of jail.
You know what? I just saw a picture of them. Oh, that's a whole other thing we could talk about. I
Yeah.
just saw a picture of them, and I will say the last 25, 30 years of
They both
prison,
look great.
they look pretty good. Yeah,
They
that's
look
what I
great.
thought. Oh,
Listen, prison.
considering.
Teresa came out of jail looking the best she's ever had. Jen Shaw's coming out into jail, gonna look the same. She's not coming out yet, but when she does. And you know
Oh,
what? They
Jen
did just
Shaw.
say,
What?
Lisa Barlow said on Sheena Shea's podcast that Sheena Shea said, "Do you hear from any former castmates, any jail mail?" And Lisa Barlow goes, "Not really, but I did. Meredith and I did hear from a friend that's in contact with her that she'd like to have a relationship with the two of us when she gets out."
Oh my God. I don't know if I'd want anything to do with Jen Shaw.
Lisa then went on to say, Jen Shaw's harmless. And that's why I tuned out. I was like,
Oh
but
yeah,
then
that's
Sheena said,
funny.
Sheena goes, except if you're elderly.
Yeah. Johnny. So Johnny J has a relationship with People Magazine.
Or Alexis does, or her publicist does.
Yeah, but somebody does.
Of course.
Now, I thought Shannon's birthday party was fantastic.
I do
They
too.
all looked good. The lighting was good. The edible orchids were good. Shannon looked fantastic with the way she had
What
the
did you think about Heather and
crown.
Emily?
I think I think that everything with Heather is contrived.
Yeah. I also think
And
that
we
Heather
talked, we
showed.
saw, yeah, but we saw a window into the Dubrow world last week when they were bickering, which they
Yeah.
thought was off camera. Of don't say this, and that we realized last week, and we commented on it when we talked about last week's show, that everything they talk about is contrived for the camera.
Yeah. That's why I didn't like the interaction, because I was like, Heather came into this conversation with a plan of how it was going to go.
Right. I don't like Heather's manipulation, because here's why. She has these 4 children that are all very different, and she wants everyone to be so understanding of their lifestyle and what they do. And for her to kind of lack the proper empathy with a grown woman's body image in like a world with Hollywood, because she doesn't get it, because she's a tiny little thinny thing.
Yeah, like she doesn't understand that when you enter that conversation, the number one rule in a conversation like that is to let the other person talk.
Yeah,
and
speak.
Regardless of what they say, when they say, especially when they are not accusing you of doing anything, when they have already said, Heather didn't mean to do this. Like, it's like, okay, Heather, she's giving you a complete permission slip to know that you had nothing to do with it. So that should be your first thing, where like your guard should be down, because you don't have to defend yourself. She is telling you it had nothing, like what she has a problem with is you not understanding. So that's been the ongoing storyline, right? So when she's telling you that, your answer should not be like, I never would have wanted you to feel that way. She's already told you
she
that
feels
you didn't.
that way. Yeah.
You just have to say, I'm so sorry that you felt that way. Now, at the end, after it's all been settled, you can say, if you want to again, I know, like, I can't believe that you felt that way, because it was just not my intention. I totally understand why you did. And I know that because we're friends, that I wouldn't have, wanted to make you feel that way. But in that moment, have her first answer be, oh my God, but I wouldn't want you to feel that way. It's like, that makes Emily feel like you're not listening to her.
Right. It should be, I'm sorry you felt that way.
Oh my God. I don't even, before we even discuss what my intention was, the way you received it, I can totally see why you received it that way. I can totally see why that would have triggered you.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that I had anything to do with it. I hope you know that my intent was not to hurt you, but I can totally see why it hurt you.
Now, the funny part was, and this kind of goes to, we didn't talk about it. You can go watch our review of Salt Lake this week also. Now, in Salt Lake this week, Meredith Marks wasn't going to Milwaukee, and then suddenly she appeared. And then Tamra wasn't going to go to the tea party, but suddenly she appeared also. I was happy with how Tamra acted at the tea party. I didn't
like Jen's response.
I know. Well,
because it was like Tammy
Jen's
Sue
been
doesn't
burned.
step into situations usually like that. Tammy Sue usually walks in with a chip on her shoulder. She usually walks in.
I think she came into it very accommodating because Eddie had already said to her, "What the hell are you doing? Do you know who you're dealing with here?"
Yes.
She was playing nice for that reason.
That's why the cameras didn't follow. That's why the cameras weren't in the car on the way home from Katie's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
totally.
I think that Eddie said no.
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 Yeah, he put down the gauntlet there. You know, he ended that. Now, did Alexis Bellino call Margaret Joseph? Are they friends? I'd love to know if they're friends.
Why?
Well, because Margaret sent the funeral wreath.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Doesn't it make you seem that production came up with both ideas?
Yes, that's what I'm wondering, because I don't believe Alexis Bellino would do that on her own, because how did she know about it and everything? So that's why I think it's production, even though they all talk to each other all the time. It's
definitely production that the OC producers copied Jersey. I don't know if Margaret had the idea on her own. Who knows?
I think Margaret might have had the idea on her own, but Alexis didn't come up with that on her own.
Producers.
And that wasn't shown before this was filmed.
Yep. And they duped Alexis.
Yes, they got Alexis.
Now, I wonder if Alexis, if she had known it happened on Jersey, she probably would have said, I don't want to do that.
Probably. I mean, if she was smart, she might not. But I want to say, did you think that Miss Shannon Storms Bedour's text was appropriate, too much, not enough, or just right?
I think that the one sentence flipped me up of like, and you are not invited, or whatever she said. I think she could have just been a little straight, even more. I actually think she could have been, you and I have been talking lately about feelings. I think she could have been more just about her feelings and been like, hi, Alexis, I don't want this to be contentious, but I just want to let you know, I'm doing a birthday trip. It's my birthday, and I'm inviting all the girls. I think it totally makes sense as to why you shouldn't go. It has nothing to do with our future, your friendship with the girls, even break the fourth wall and say you being on the show. It has to do with the fact that your boyfriend is suing me, and that's awkward, and it's just not appropriate. It's nothing personal. It's just the reality of what you and I are going through right now.
And that is the difference between a millennial and a baby boomer.
I think you should have said
was actually too nice.
That's what I'm saying. No, you didn't let me finish.
She was too nice.
Or what I think it was way too pageant. I want to save my face, but I want to put my foot down. I want to look good, but I want to be mean. It's like, pick one. Either be direct.
I thought she was actually nice.
But I think that there were.
And when they told her to soften it up, I was like, what do you mean soften it up?
What I'm saying is that it was that one sentence, because there were
You're
moments
not invited.
where there were some moments that were soft, and then there were that one sentence that was hard. I think she needs to pick
she
one.
thanked her for the flowers.
I think she needs to pick one.
She said,
I think she could have said, hi, Alexis, I received your flowers. It was a little odd considering your boyfriend's suing me and you guys are all over the press. But because you sent them to me, I thought it would be important for me to let you know, considering the situation that you, me, and John are in right now, and the amount of back and forth that we've had while filming the show this season, I don't think it's appropriate for me to be taking you to the UK. I didn't want you to hear it through the grapevine. I wanted you to hear it from me. Maybe in the future we'll be in a different place, but right now I don't want anything to do with you.
Too much verbiage. You're not invited.
But my point is that even the
you're not invited.
But the note she sent was too nice.
I thought it was too nice.
Yeah, but it also had a very direct statement in it. So I'm saying you either pick one and
you're talking about the note. You're saying that Alexis's note was nice?
No, I'm saying Shannon's text.
Okay, because you said note. I thought of it.
It was like a direct message where the middle sentence was very direct. You're not invited. But it was like an ice cream sandwich where it was padded by kindness. And it was like, pick one. Like, you can't have the bread be mean and the filling be nice. Like, have the whole sandwich be mean or be nice.
Now, do you believe, well, we know that the text was manipulated to come in while they were filming.
Just like the flowers were manipulated to arrive.
Yes. Okay. So
they didn't even ship. They were bought and they were brought over by the busboy.
Yeah. So how genuine was Alexis's reaction to it?
Very.
And she wouldn't have reacted that way if she'd been forewarned. They got her raw on film.
They did. And they also.
The girls knew, but she didn't.
I have a feeling production said, listen, Shannon's having her birthday lunch. She didn't invite you. Obviously makes sense. She is going to do a birthday trip too. And we'd like for her to maybe think of you going. They know she's not going to invite them.
Yeah.
But they said, so why don't you do this?
They got her hopes up.
Why don't you send some flowers for the lunch? Maybe that would be a good way to like extend the olive branch. And then maybe then she'll feel guilty and she'll invite you on the trip. And I think Alexis thought that the flowers solved her problem of not going on the trip. And in that moment,
that's
probably and the other part is that Johnny J's upstairs and no one knew. And that was
and that was the best part. Well, when Katie said it, he's here?
And Katie, this is the other thing.
Why didn't he come say hello?
Talk about the reactions. And like, we've gone back and forth over the past few weeks about how Jen is out to lunch. Katie, like as a new housewife, she got in her car and she's like, okay, whatever, let's go, whatever. She's a bitch. I don't care. Jen's sitting there being like, I'm upset. Oh my God.
Well, they were kicked out of the house like 14
But Katie was like, okay, yeah, like whatever. We just told her she's not going on a trip. I'm going back to find my kids and gonna go have Korean barbecue with I'm gonna go have Korean barbecue with my family. Like, come on. Like, Katie's legit. Katie's good. Katie's here to stay. I like Katie.
Yeah. I mean, she'll grow into it.
I think that Katie is naturally like, I enjoyed the Korean barbecue scene where Katie's like, I don't know Korean. Like, and then she said something in Chinese and how shady was Bravo to say that was Mandarin.
Well, Mandarin is Chinese,
but Chinese, not Korean.
Not Korean. Oh yeah. That's Mandarin is Chinese.
That's what I'm saying. So Bravo was shady, and anyone they wanted the people in the room that knew Mandarin was Chinese to think that was funny because they were like they put in Mandarin, which is just funny. Mandarin. And I thought it was her son was so funny. He was so sweet.
Cute.
What a cute kid.
Yeah,
they've parented that kid very well. You can tell.
Yeah.
Kim Cook and Katie have totally parented him well.
Yes. Now next week they're going to London.
Oh yeah.
I thought Gina's got the worst outfit this year by far. Yes. That silver one is just horrible.
I also have to say, did you not find it to be a validation that as much as I'm going to say this, I hope we have no listeners from Orange County.
We might.
There's a level of trashiness that comes with the type of money that's in Orange County compared to Beverly Hills.
Yeah, you're totally. They would.
If you ask the Beverly Hills cast who's been to London, all of them are going to say, I've been.
Yeah.
And then you have like some of these women that have been like,
I've been to Heathrow.
Yeah, like they've been, and you know why? It's like, I've been to Heathrow on a connection probably for a public appearance. It wasn't like I've toured London.
No, it's not even like they left the airport.
They haven't gone on a European vacation for 2-3 weeks and explored different countries. Like,
yeah, but I would say that the Beverly Hills housewives aren't there to explore the country. They're there to go to, a country estate for a fox hunt. Or they're there to shop
or they're there for an event, or they're there for something.
But they're there to go to Harrods or something. They're there to shop, because when they go to Paris, they're there to just, go to runway shows. And,
exactly. Well,
yeah. So
who's your
they're
mess?
not really doing.
Alexis.
Yeah, I guess. I guess, yeah, Alexis.
Because Tammy Sue had shown up.
Tammy was a mess though when she left too.
Yeah, but that was, I think, like more like
she recovered.
I attribute that more to last episode just because it was like barely a second.
Right. Yeah, I guess Alexis. I don't know. Emily needs to. I understand where Emily's at, but she needs to
go get you either need to, Emily, at this point, go get some help and film it so that you can show people that, like, if you are having body image, you can, like, because again, the only thing right now that I don't love is that, like, Emily, you are gorgeous. You've lost a lot of weight.
Right.
You're on a television show. You're an attorney. You do need to now, because you brought this up, share with viewers that also have body image issues how you can get to a better place with it, because you are very privileged in a lot of ways. You're famous. You have and so I can't imagine
she has Shane.
You're not really helping anyone yet. like you do need to kind of show people how they can go and like get to a better place. So maybe go like have one of these fake Erica Jane therapists come on Zoom and talk about it with someone to show people that if they're struggling, go find a therapist.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
Anyhow, follow us, like us, subscribe us, comment us, tell us that we're terrible. We don't care. We love you.
We love it. Bye.